There's a thing in Bangladeshi culture where people believe that the younger a girl gets married off, the better it is. My name is Tania Rashad. I'm a journalist and a survivor of sexual violence. My grandmother was married off at 9 and my grandfather at the time was 20. So she couldn't get a formal education or go to school because she had to be married off so soon. And as a result, she ended up having 8 children. My extended family were the ones that were pushing for me to be married off at 16. I thought I was going on a family trip, but I ended up meeting with this much older man who was maybe 40, and I was 16 at the time. Immediately, I knew with the kinds of questions that were being asked that my aunt was trying to marry me off as soon as possible. I was angry. I didn't see that as my future. I knew there was something greater for me. So I fought back, and luckily it wasn't shoved down my throat. I was able to just be like, no way, I'm not gonna get married right now. I've seen 8, 9-year-old girls being married off to 40, 50-year-old men. It's quite a contrast. Seeing that is heartbreaking, gut-wrenching. With my life, I was able to go to college, and now I'm working as a successful female journalist. So I had the option to get out. What I wonder about is the women who don't have that option, the young girls who don't have that option. What happens to them? The girl's pressured into marriage because the family can't afford to keep her. That's been my primary experience of interviewing little girls being married off in the Rohingya camps. The family, it's one more mouth to feed. They don't want to have to feed her. They think, okay, she's 12, we marry her off, get some dowry money, where they pay the groom a certain amount of money to essentially sell their daughters to that family. The girls I seen get married fell to their knees crying, begging not to be married off. And yet, still, because of the tradition, the families push them to be married. Imagine being 12 and forced into marriage, not knowing who you're marrying. You get married and then all of a sudden you're in this new family and you're taking on the role of womanhood. And what happens is the girl gets married off and she ends up working as a slave essentially for the in-laws, while also being sexually submissive to her husband and attending to all of his needs, where you have to cook, clean, and get pregnant and have children. It's psychologically disturbing and traumatizing. A lot of these girls aren't fully developed, so when they do get married off, they just hit puberty, and some of them don't even have their periods. So there are some physical things that happen to the body when you're married off and then forced to have sex with a man when you're not even fully developed. There are cases of fistula, where it's a condition where a girl's rectum and her vaginal hole get torn from aggressive sex. And that leads to uncontrollable bleeding, keloids, and even constant urination. I've seen so many cases of young girls dealing with this type of thing, and it's completely disturbing. I'm breaking the cycle by talking about it, by doing stories on it, by being vocal about it. That's how change happens, is when you speak up and you address it instead of shoving it under the rug.